Gunpoint. Body camera video from a recent civil rights lawsuit is drawing comparisons to the traffic stop that killed Philando Castile. The footage we're going to show you tonight led to a six-figure settlement late last year. Investigative reporter Kirsten Swanson says that video is now leading to more questions about why police are escalating routine traffic stops and potentially putting people in danger. Kirsten.
Paul, police say they're trained to pull their weapon when they believe there's a threat. But in the case you're about to see, that perceived threat was a small card tucked in the driver's wallet. A warning, the video is difficult to watch.
As Janice Hodge drove through northeast Minneapolis in July 2019, she saw red and blue flashing lights in her rear view mirror just after 6 o'clock.
I just thought it was going to be a regular routine stop.
Minneapolis Park Police Officer Calvin Pham's body-worn camera started rolling as he walked up to her driver's side door.
Hello. Have your driver's license, proof of insurance, please?
Can I ask why you're pulling me over?
Yes, two reasons. One, you have your phone in your hand.
Yep, because I'm using my GPS to drop my food off.
Yep, and then when I drove past you didn't have your seatbelt on.
Because my seatbelt, I wear it like this.
Yeah, which is incorrect. So could I have your driver's license,
but my seatbelt is on, so long as it's buckled, I can...
Hodge continued to defend the way she wore the seatbelt.
Because I always ride my seatbelt like this, and I've never gotten a ticket for this, even though I've been pulled over.
Could I please have your driver's license, please?
Around 30 seconds into the stop, she reached for her purse.
Sat it on my lap between me and the steering wheel, reached into my purse and pulled my wallet out.
As Hodge searched for her license, she called her husband.
Hold on, this guy just pulled me over for using my GPS. And I said, this police officer just pulled me over for using my GPS.
And just as she's about to hand her license to Officer Pham...
Let me ask you something. Can you turn your car off, please?
Why do I need to turn my car
off? Turn it off. Step out of the vehicle right now. Step out of the vehicle right now. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
This happened just 60 seconds after he first approached the car.
I didn't even have my driver's license out of the sleeve, and I had a gun pointed at my head. I was confused and scared, and I didn't know what was going on.
Step out of the car.
Out the window.
Yep. Take off your seatbelt. Take off your seatbelt.
Officer Pham held his gun up against his chest. Dash camera video shows a man who appeared to be on a citizen ride-along looked on as Pham reached into the car, pulled Hodge's purse from her lap, and threw it to the side.
Hey,
step out of the car.
Can you hold on, just calm down. Calm yourself down.
Step out.
Calm yourself down.
Step out of the car.
Calm down.
Step out of the car.
Calm yourself down.
Step out of the car now. I will rip you out if you do not step out of the car now. Step out of the car right now.
Why?
Step out of the car because I'm giving you a lawful order to step out.
Okay, my attorney's on the phone. What'd you say?
I'm gonna rip you out of the car then.
What'd you say, babe? He's threatening to touch me.
Officer Pham called for backup over his radio as Hodge tried to tell her husband where she was.
I'm at Northeast.
Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
I'm at Northeast. Can I get I don't have
out of the car.
I don't have anything. Why are you pointing the gun at me?
Step out.
Hodge stepped out of her car, and Officer Pham pushed her to the ground and held her face down on the pavement.
No, you stop.
Put your hands behind your back.
For what?
Put your hands behind your back.
What?
Put your hands behind your back now.
What did I do to, cause this reaction from him?
What do you think it was?
I have no idea. I can't answer a question for someone else and what was going through their head, so.
Sir, what did I do for this?
In his incident report, Officer Pham wrote when Hodge opened up her wallet, he saw a card that appeared to be a Minnesota permit to carry, and he believed that Janice may have a gun. Hodge says she does have a valid permit to carry, but didn't have her gun with her that day.
You didn't see a firearm. You didn't ask if I had a firearm. You just reacted to something that you seen in my wallet.
Officer Pham's reaction reminded Hodge of another case involving a black driver in Minnesota who had a permit to carry.
Sir, I have to tell you, I do have a firearm on me.
Don't reach for it then.
Philando Castile shot and killed just a few miles away from where Hodge was held at gunpoint.
That was the first thing that ran through my mind, unfortunately at the time, yes, that I'm gonna die the same way that this young man died.
I know at that very moment, she thought about my son.
After Officer Geronimo Yanez was acquitted for shooting and killing her son, Valerie Castile began fighting for police reform in Minnesota and across the country.
Do you see any similarities between your son's shooting and what happened to this woman?
Oh, absolutely. It's the same thing. As a trained law enforcement officer, you're supposed to be trained in how to de-escalate these situations. Yet we see these situations happen over and over and over again.
During that traffic stop in Falcon Heights in 2016, former Officer Yanez pulled his gun within 36 seconds. In 2018, months before former Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor shot and killed Justine Damon, dash camera video showed Noor pointed his gun at a driver's head during a routine traffic stop. And in 2020, in his initial interaction with George Floyd, Officer Thomas Lane pulled out his gun 13 seconds after approaching Floyd about a counterfeit bill.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please, Ms. Officer.
Both hands.
Do nothing.
Put your hands up right now.
For years, you know, black people have been treated just like that.
Castile agreed to watch the footage from Hodges' stop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She pointed out Hodges' hands are through the sunroof.
You know, at that moment, you'd be scared to even move for the seatbelt, because he'll swear to God she was reaching for the gun.
In his report, Officer Pham wrote, "I observed her hands reach into her purse. I observed her reach her hand behind her purse near her waistline and in between the seat and center console. I believe that Janice was trying to conceal something or was reaching for a weapon."
The report lists that you were reaching around in your purse, that you were reaching down into the door, like into the door frame too.
Impossible to do with a seatbelt on, to reach down with the handbag I have with me on my lap, steering wheel. There's no way I could reach down into a door panel of a truck and obtain anything.
Are you getting sound okay?
We also showed the video to retired Chicago Police Commander Mark Buslick, who spent 39 years in law enforcement.
Tell me just a little bit about your impressions of the video.
There's really two things going on here. Her refusal to comply, and then the officer escalating the incident when I don't think it needed to be at that point.
Did you see a threat?
I did not see a threat, no. But again, my perspective was that of a body camera, in the middle of the officer's chest.
Remember, Officer Pham wrote in his report that he saw what appeared to be a Minnesota permit to carry, but made no mention of seeing a gun.
Do you still think he should have pulled a firearm on this driver?
I did not see an immediate threat. The more appropriate response would have been, "Ma'am, do you have a firearm with you?"
I thought I was going to be issued a citation and sent on my way.
Hodge was arrested and booked on 5 charges, including obstruction and possession of marijuana. Those charges were dropped after she pled guilty to driving on a suspended license.
I think a lot of people will question what he had to be afraid of that day.
Last fall, the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board paid Hodge $100,000 to settle her civil rights lawsuit. Officer Pham resigned from the park police shortly after. On his separation form, the reason for his sudden departure left blank, and his personnel file makes no mention of the traffic stop or any discipline.
Where's the threat to pull your firearm out?
It's difficult for Hodge to watch this video, not only because of what she went through, but also because Hodge says she can't help but think of other black drivers out on the road right now.
You never know when it's your turn.
Our request to interview both the Minneapolis Park Police Chief and the Superintendent of the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board were denied. They sent a statement and said, saying, quote, "The Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board does not comment on personnel matters, and it has provided KSTP with all public personnel documents that were requested," adding, "The settlement speaks for itself."
So, Kirsten, I know you said Officer Pham resigned in this. What's he doing now?
You know, it's not clear. The Minnesota Post Board, which licenses police officers, says his license is inactive. That means he's not currently employed in law enforcement in Minnesota. We did attempt to contact Pham to get his side of the story, but our calls, texts, and emails were never answered.
Okay, thank you for bringing us that video, Kirsten Swanson.